Hi, it's John. Welcome back to FinTech Plus. I'm very pleased to be joined today by an old friend. It's Richard Neve. He is a managing partner at Cognito in Amsterdam. Hi there, Richard. How you been?
Good afternoon. Good to see you again, John. I'm all right. Thank you.
I thought it would be a great chance for you to tell everybody who you are and a bit about Cognito, and then we can talk a little bit more about what we've done together and what's going on now in the FinTech world.
Happy to. I'm managing the Dutch office of the Amsterdam office of Cognito. That's an integrated agency for public relations, media relations, advertising, marketing, social media, branded content, but all in the financial technology space. So all our clients are in the financial space or technology space with a keen focus on finance. We have 6 offices around the world. About 80 people.
And how long has Cognito been around? Can you just tell us what was the origin and how to get to that scale? It's quite impressive.
2000, founded by our current CEO, Tom Coombs, founded in London, swiftly moved to the US as well, where we have offices in New York and LA, and then later Asia and with offices in Hong Kong and Singapore. And in 2017, Cognito merged with my operation here in Amsterdam, focusing on continental Europe. So we brought in from Amsterdam the continental European perspective.
Thanks for that, Richard. And I forget actually how we originally connected, but we worked together when FinTech Plus got started with its inaugural conference. Do you want to tell us a little bit how that came together and the role you helped play in what we were doing?
As an agency have a 100% focus on that financial technology space, we know a lot of people. So we were happy to help you and your team with pointing out some people that could be either very helpful with setting up the right program with inspiring speakers, or advocating once the event was sort of established, marketing and establishing a performance reputation that people knew about the conference, and obviously that whole storytelling and reputational build, that's one of the key focuses of our agency.
It's something that we greatly appreciated, and I have to thank you again because the conference went off really beyond my expectations. We had over 300 guests here from different countries like Canada, Luxembourg, Spain. There was another one, Holland as well, of course. You guys and a whole group of fintechs came along. And I think what really impressed me as well was the speed with which we reached the scale that we had the ambitions to. We were able to reach over 5,000 followers on LinkedIn quite quickly. The content pipeline that we worked on, and a very, I think, simple strategy to make that translate into not just followers and things like that, but real storytelling and impact at the end of the day was much appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah, no, pleasure.
A lot has changed since late 2018, though. Can you give us a bit of an update on what you've seen, especially now that COVID has changed so much?
As obviously mentioned by others before, COVID actually sped up as a catalyst processes and trends that were already sort of happening in place, bound to be. Banks are shifting their position, moving more into a back office situation. Other companies with far more experience, or let's say talent in UX and client relationships, the neobanks moving in, distribution models shifting, traditional retailers, both with payment technology from other companies and or other suppliers moving in the financial space as well. So the whole landscape starts to shift towards a new landscape, a new ecosystem where obviously the most point of contact with the end consumer is digital, and the consumer expects it to be effortless and 24/7, real time, and the traditional players have less control, will not be end to end involved as they used to. And open banking, PSD2, will speed that process up even more if we move forward.
I guess it's hard to talk about conferences and when they will come back. I know there's been a range of different solutions that you've been able to work with clients to find in the meantime. Do you want to say a few words about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, last year and also I would say Q1, Q2 of this year, we, as an agency, on behalf of our clients, look at other channels like direct marketing, PR, traditional advertising, online advertising, webinars, a whole different sort of set of opportunities. Obviously, events will come back. They need to. A lot of people are now head over heels with webinars and online events because it's efficient, it's cheap, easy to implement, and you can basically have everybody from the whole world to be your guest, all fine and dandy. But what they miss out on the fact is that a larger trade show or a conference offers this, I would say, element of unexpected, element of surprise, meeting a few people in the crowd at the delegation, drinking coffee, you would not have met online, or you would have met in real, you would not have met elsewhere. And those are the people that will then be part of your network. Those are the people you can actually then do business with immediately or on the long run, or they will introduce you to someone else. And I think that a lot of business was saved by the fact that they can continue to do business online. But what I forget is that whatever happens, even if you're immensely successful with an amazing product, but in business to business, about 8% of your client base is you're losing it every year. And not because your product is not the right product or the right fit, but simply because someone retires, someone gets another job at another firm, someone gets promoted and is no longer your buying persona. A company decides no longer to work with you as a vendor because they centralize with one vendor globally. 8% of your clients walk out the door every year, not because your product or service is not the right fit, but simply because of stuff. That means you need to make sure that at least you've got those 8% back in new contacts to be able to sell to those new contacts before you even can reach growth. So events will come back, and I think that people are very eager to move again into trade shows, conferences, seminars, and as soon as we can, they can, vaccinated, passports, travel corridors, they'll come up with something. Events will be big, will be back big time. Specific, the first ones will be very big.
Oh yeah, great. Well, good to hear that.
I'm positive, always.
I have my own thoughts on that. It's been nice to have a break from events. I have to say, as an organizer, they, or at least an unexpected organizer, they do take a lot of work. So I have a newfound respect.
I can imagine. I mean, the break is fine, but that's it, John. People need to meet people to do business. You need to shake hands.
I completely agree. All the way up to annual meetings for shareholders, and with the Olympics at a cultural level, these things are really important. So I agree with you totally. While we are doing things a little bit more online and through other channels, what are some of the trends you think have been most interesting in the last year and right now bubbling in the fintech space?
One of the things that I think is immensely interesting is, well, I already mentioned open banking, PSD2. I see now more and more also more traditional technology providers, larger firms, looking at that technology, looking at that space, developing APIs to make sure that their technology is able to interact with open banking solutions. They see that retailers, traditional retailers and e-commerce retailers are genuinely looking at opportunities that open banking offer them, the data insight, the payment efficiency, perhaps the lower cost. So that's on the fintech space. And in my own field, marketing and communication space, what I'm baffled about the last 24 months is the fast integration of the various, I would say, tools, marketing automation, platforms like HubSpot, Hootsuite, Salesforce, Pardo. Marketing teams will be able more and more to fundament their strategy in data and use technology to do a lot of the heavy lifting that normally would have been done by people, freeing up a lot of creativity and tactical support on other stuff. So marketing automation in my own personal field, and open banking as a leading trend in the fintech space.
And maybe before we start to wrap things up, you can spend a moment just sharing some of your insights. We have a large audience of fintech entrepreneurs out there and others who are thinking about becoming fintech entrepreneurs, especially at the moment. What sort of insights can you share from your particular expertise of getting the story out there? What are some of the things fintech entrepreneurs maybe get wrong or should certainly make sure they try to get right?
There's one conversation I basically always have with fintech entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs altogether with I would say, technology background. People that have either education or work experience with a very strong technology component. They always think that their mousetrap is the better mousetrap. And it might be the case. But even the best mousetrap won't sell itself. So make sure that although, yes, you want to build the best product, want to build something that offers the best service, and that's all very based on facts and numbers and rationale, make sure that you also understand that you need to be visible, you need to be out there, you need to be telling your message to as many people as possible. So build in from the start, not only the actual building of the product or service, but think about the story, think about visibility, think about brand, because some people then build something that's amazing and they expect the world to basically interact with their amazing thing they built, but the world is not waiting for you if you don't tell that you are there. So in the R&D phase already, you should think about who should I talk to, how should I talk about this, what are my words, what's my brand, because if you start to worry about that in a later phase, then it will be costly or maybe too late.
Great advice. Probably saved a few fintech entrepreneurs a trip to you twice to get help with this.
Yes.
But not that that's the worst thing. Richard, I appreciate you taking the time today to share a few bits
My
of
pleasure.
wisdom, especially when it's been such a busy year. I understand at Cognito. Are there any final words you have for the audience at FinTech Plus?
Rest assured, you're in the winning business. FinTech is an industry that will have a even higher impact in the near future, and even if your company or yourself are going to a rough patch now, continue, because this is the right industry to be in.
I couldn't agree more, Richard. Thank you for putting that in there. For those who are looking to get in touch with you, we're more than happy, and we always share the information, but do you want to say a few words about how to get in touch with you?
Look for Cognito Amsterdam. You'll probably find me swift enough, and I'm very visible on LinkedIn, so happy to engage with everyone who is interested.
Thanks again, Richard, and we'll be catching up in the coming months. I'm looking forward to visiting Amsterdam when travel is a little bit less restricted, yeah, all the best.
Coffee's on me, John.
Cheers. Thanks again, Richard.